Who didn't
So now
disable
I'll-
JD's access to the decon planner?
Hey, no,
wish you could.
Mojo.
Yeah, think about that, didn't you?
I did. I've spent too long this morning yelling at Muppet. Okay?
You nearly said Muppet.
Yep. I had to stop. I had to think. We got it there in the end. Oh, the disaster. You know, mate.
Sleepy.
What else is new?
It's pretty much always the same, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You did choose a spiritual animal over a koala. What'd you expect?
It seemed fitting.
Uh-huh. But you know it doesn't come with naps.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't mean I'm entitled to them, and it doesn't mean that when I say I need a nap, that people actually give me the nap.
No, it's just a statement. It's a blanket statement. I need a nap. Yeah, that's nice.
Yes.
Mate, you'll be glad to know that nobody knows how your train tracks work, and people are idiots, and we've had many wonderful creations. I hate every one of them.
This is JD's favorite
Perfection.
right here.
Which one?
So how have people been chopping and changing it?
Oh, no, people have just been hand building stuff like this.
It's excellent.
The
you-
loop
And this?
actually works, unlike other bits.
So I didn't even bother putting a radar on?
I mean, that's the biggest crime of all, no radar.
Yeah, I know.
That's the true crime right there.
I know. Go inside, walk up there, radar. We need to be able to show everybody the wonderful disaster that you made. Walk.
Yeah, I'm looking for that word.
He's all shy now.
Radar.
No, he sat on chat for 20 minutes talking ration to the wife. Lost in voice chat. Forgetting to hit the mute button. He's anything but shy. Yeah. This, he took a rule out of my book. You know, if it flashes at you, add chain signals till it stops flashing.
See. There you go.
This is my masterpiece.
Technically signaled
works.
correctly. It has plenty of chain signals. There's no flashing. Okay? You know, technically it doesn't have enough chain signals. It's missing some.
No.
And then we
I
hit,
don't think we can
or
speed
crossover
any.
in the bottom of
Okay,
it to
yeah.
go from right to left.
That one.
Missing chain signals, but you know, it's yep. If in doubt, add chains.
I mean, there's still 3 green spots to put more chain signals.
Yeah, more chain signals doesn't always help.
Sure it does.
And then yeah, that there is.
Do you know, I once saw, I don't remember who was streaming it, but there was someone streaming and their entire rail network was chain signals.
Yeah.
Not a single regular signal.
Yeah. It works technically if you're careful with how you place them.
It was kind of hilarious because it meant the entire train network, you know, it was 2 tracks.
Only can have one train at a time. Yeah.
At a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. It technically works.
But those trains were very safe.
Oh, yeah.
What was somebody saying earlier about being technically correct is the best type of correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Only when you're playing with JD.
Oh, these are request chests to pull all the excess coal out of the network.
Is that something you
What
want?
was he?
Yeah,
Oh, I
because
signaled it some more.
Fox went and deconstructed a whole pile of coal.
Deconstructed. Exactly.
It's doing what JD does.
Running on a decom planner? Fixing other people's mistakes?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fixing JD mistakes.
Cool. This station is named, it turns out. Well, I didn't really want that over here, but I guess we're gonna have stuff being delivered. Alright, can I find glue and sodas?
What are you trying to do right now?
I'm trying
Lodge
to fix...
300 rockets.
Well, that too. I'm trying to build a new unload station. Not nearly
Isn't
enough
it
stack.
basically you're just doing what was already there?
Yeah, except there's no stack inserters in the fucking network. See this problem? This mistake? That now has a copper stacker over here that is now chain signaled all the way up and into copper unload. That I know is a matter of time before Muppet decides to add an iron stacker to that same issue.
Yeah, it's what trains.
Where?
Train stop limits are for.
Where are you standing? I was just gonna rip out the bottom stations that are doing ore and put them on the far side of the base. Yeah, I'm replacing. I'm replacing things with fast.
Are you making it neat and tidy?
No, I'm increasing throughput laterally.
So you're building more smelters?
I'm building more input for more ore, so more smelters off elsewhere can bring in more plate.
Okay, so
Sounds
whoever
dangerous,
built
like
this,
fixing stuff.
built this station seems to have screwed up somehow. Because,
Half's name on it.
well, all those boxes are full, but there's no train getting sent there.
How do you not have stack inserters?
Because there's negative 49 in the network. This station's
Oh, at least
off.
they're being made.
Yeah.
All it needs is gears and circuits.
And red circuits.
Yeah, red circuit or two.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? You know what people have done? What they did is at the end of the bus. The goal is to launch the rockets. So at the end of the bus, after we had modules to make Purple Science run, to make Science run, they put in some lovely chests that took all the extra circuits and put them in boxes, so they could do shit with robots. The problem is, after that, they come off to make speed modules to make RCUs to launch the fucking rockets, which is the part that was short on the RCUs to launch the fucking rockets, which means no red circuits came down here to do any of this. So that didn't happen. Also, after the red circuits have passed through all of this, that's when they come over here and they make stack inserters.
Oh, you got the old Catherine of Sky thing going.
Well, it's time for a glass
The mall
of
at the end of the
whiskey.
bus.
No, not Catherine Sky thing. God, no.
Who's it?
It's mine.
Oh, it's
Mine.
even worse.
It works.
This is even more convoluted.
No, hers has got belts into passive providers to be put in a request chest right beside the passive provider. Forever.
Okay, it's slightly less convoluted. I actually stopped doing those sorts of designs.
No, you went to a magic deliver everything circuit network thing that doesn't work half the time.
And that one?
It does work, it's just user error.
You publish the blueprint, right?
Yeah,
You let unknown users play with it, right?
yeah, user error.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting user error.
Yeah,
It's always user error.
yeah,
A seat and keyboard malfunction.
yeah.
Seat and keyboard interface malfunction, specifically.
Dump stuff into... Yeah, cool.
No, I
Dump.
did actually have an early game
Which
belt
station?
one. It takes like 2 hours to build by hand.
Yeah, no. No.
Yeah, because I just changed that one.
You know what? I don't care. Done. See? They're fast as those. They hit with an upgrade planner. They'll show up eventually. Train stop show 0 trains to hit the stop. Someone has to fix the circuit. That damn interface is so reliable. The user interface, yes. I've never had a single issue with Mojo's blueprints. It's great. Yes, his train blueprints are perfect. They have wires that are there as a backup idea concept should you need to use them.
It's not even a backup, it's just there for convenience.
What is this mess?
Found found your missing stack inserters.
Oh yeah.
Except for that one fast inserter.
BTG, why are you ripping up mining?
Because I'm fixing it. I'm making it go faster.
Sure, whatever.
Couldn't we add more faster mining?
Yeah, yeah. This is a something. A something.
Oh, it's one of those circuit balancer kajigas.
Only
That- that
opens the
does.
station when there's enough ore in the boxes or something.
But it has
Causes
belts feeding it from
problems.
both sides with 2 lots of wires doing smart things.
Hmm.
That's like way too much effort.
Yeah.
Boxes hook the station. Wire. Enable, disable. Okay? If there's greater than 40,000 ore, then you're allowed to deliver. Drop off. Come. Whatever. He's making everything blueprint. Okay. I know he's making everything blueprint is generally good, but it suffers from a user issue sometimes. Like,
It also sometimes suffers from blueprint bizarreness sometimes.
yeah, like
The circuit connections don't copy properly.
this train just showed up to load up copper ore, even though the third wagon has 120 copper ore in it, because that's all that's in the box.
I don't know.
No, it definitely did. Definitely did. Working perfectly.
Looking at it right now.
As intended.
Kind of interesting that it has the circuit switch for each individual wagon. Also, there's a second train lined up.
Oh, yeah, because it's probably told there's plenty of ore here.
There probably is plenty of ore there.
Yeah, it's just not in the...
BTG ripped up the ore.
It's fine.
Like a boss.
Yeah, and all BTG's belts going the wrong way. Bops, how you doing?
Spin in fucking power poles. I'm gonna kill you.
I like how Data's just fixing everything. You become a roboport now.
It's in the network
Just
mostly. Like,
It's just taken over. You just take it over now.
anyway, Bops, 6 to 8 months. Jay's version of Brave New World. Hey, people run around with their robot ports turned on. Okay, I'm the last one to get power armor. I'm the last one to get robot ports. I'm
That's because that's your fault.
last one to get all these nice things. So everybody else
That's your
becomes my robot ports. And I just hang around the base and do stuff at the base because it has base bots. Nine belts.
Yeah, just loop the end ones back into themselves, and then it's only 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just deconstruct the whole belt here for you, BTG, and fill your inventory up with lots of copper ore. Problem
fine.
solved.
So
See, he
helpful.
gets it. BTG, that is. You know, it's just the end ones, because it's so little, produces so little, you just send it back into the next one over.
JD, you're
Yeah.
about to die. I'm gonna come find you and shoot your ass.
It's alright. About to mute Factorio and go do a Friday Fax. Where the hell are those robots going? What? Oh, they've come across the map to help Fox with the something. Who's now using... Oh, we're up to 2s. We're using 2s and stuff. Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
I like how it's just spilling out into random bits of terrain.
Oh, yeah. It's all one giant robot network full of, creations. And wonders and joys and all my poor robots.
You know, the concrete kind of looks like someone flipping the finger.
Probably is.
Yeah, you have a point. Hang on.
I think the real question that needs to be answered is, where is the tileable dick butt concrete?
High level.
Tileable dick butt.
Mm,
Don't know. don't have that blueprint. Sorry. Couldn't help.
I do have the solar one somewhere.
Oh God, Muppet.
It's the perfect
I
solar.
love Muppet. Look at this.
What did you do now?
It was in the way. Oh.
So you had to narrow it down to a single lane for just there.
Nothing really uses it anyways, it's fine. Like one train has gone past while I've been up here.
Nothing
That was
uses
probably
it
Spice Train.
Yet. Perfect ratio solar. Oh my god.
Just need that in concrete now.
Oh my god. I have an app to convert images into concrete.
There you go.
Well, technically it converts images into any entity. So, you can make it out of walls.
But then you, if it's just concrete and no walls, then you would have that tiled throughout the entire base. You could make it chunker lined and everything.
Oh my god. Okay. Alright. No, I want the other button. The other button. Volume mixer.
Not that button half.
That button. Alright. Where's the fluffs? There's the fluffs. Alright.
I was trying to turn on the.
Do I have... I don't think there was anything interesting that came out about the Friday Facts outside the Friday Facts. I don't think there was anything special that showed up on other platforms that we had to cover, apart from all the way back then we covered power pole connections in 362. Oh, that's when they added blueprints to preserve wire connections. Yes. Okay. I recommend somebody was bored. Yes.
So you can save wire connections in blueprints?
Yeah.
I thought it was done as part of the FFF, but then when I went back to read it, I couldn't find it.
It was done as part of 362. So it's 1. It was after
recent.
1.0.
It meant you finally didn't need to wire comb every blueprint.
I was more thinking that JD could save really messy wires in all of his sample blueprints.
All my blueprints are made pre this update. So they come with random connections wherever they feel like it.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is just after 1.0? Wasn't 1.0 360?
I think it also affected the... You can click and drag over poles now. I think that fixed that as well. So if you click and drag near a pole, it actually pastes the pole on the blueprint. It doesn't just smear down a million random poles.
No, that was fixed prior. That came out prior to 1.0.
Yeah, but it was still janky.
It would sometimes miss, and training app. Hi, if you drag your pole, yeah. Mojo's known for dragging his pole.
Sure.
Oh, Koverick said on Reddit that apparently the Spidertron remotes will be covered in a future FFF, as the current 1.1 solution is crazy.
As having 1,500 remotes, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're doing with that, but
So, we had 1.0, and then no Friday facts for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And they added 1.1, which is when they added Spidertron. No, they added Spidertron. No, updates. They added major updates inside 1.1. I think they actually gave the Spidertrons a lot more functionality with the remotes. Spider item colors didn't show in the inventory. Also fixed where they rendered on the ground. Yeah, so they fixed the remotes. They added logistics requests for Spidertrons. They added copy paste for Spidertrons. They stopped them standing on train tracks. Made Spiderbots get out of the way when you tried to ghost around them. Made them easy to place because they used to be a nightmare.
Only in the middle of a base.
Yes, and at the same time, that's when they... Oh, Ghost Fast Replace, that was another thing in 1.1, and power pole connections. So that was part of 1.1. Where power poles would... Ghost power poles would show connections, and they did improve the clicking and dragging. You mean pull on your pole? No, not going to pull on my pole, not live on stream. Thanks, chat.
Something in the new FFF is actually a little bit worrying is somewhere down below they show when you remove power poles that have circuit wires attached to them, they snap to other power poles of circuit wires.
Yes, that's not going to be a problem at all if you happen to have, the two lots of circuits running near one another. And then you remove a power pole.
Cool.
Hopefully it understands the connect, like it persists the connect, understands that it's the same connection and not a different connection.
What do you mean?
So the snapping to a pole, it's not changing to a different circuit connection. It's still the same circuit network.
Somewhere in there, I think they say they reuse the auto snapping of power pole wires, and that certainly isn't smart.
Hang on. Circuit networks have a...
RD number.
Yes. So it is probably smart enough not to join two different circuit networks together. If I was to hazard a guess, it's just not clear.
1532, 1533. And then if I link you to you, 1532, 1532. And then unlink you again. 532, 534. Okay. Yeah, I think each network you make is a brand new network and you can never remove the old networks. You can know which networks they're part of and only why they're on the same network. They will have thought of that since literally everybody does circuit networks said the very same thing when they saw the GIF. Yeah, but I haven't seen a comment from a woob. A woobie, a woobette, a wooblet. Why is not just an issue? No. Why do I have to hold a copper wire to cut off one pole? Yeah, that's not annoying at all. Also don't need that.
Well, that's what they're trying to eliminate.
Yep.
So now you have the tool.
Saran trying to work out a mod. Okay. Alright. Not from where everyone saw for seen the GIF said the very same thing about merging networks. And they'll likely have thought of that as well. I would imagine. You imagine that Woob has thought of something. Do you know how often we've said that and then been proven wrong? Because Covrex has gone like, no. Research queue is a dumb idea. Nobody should have a research queue. Research queue. Ridiculous. No, it should never happen.
We went through the details of that, and the reasons why he said not to have it don't exist anymore.
Well, he said not to have it, and then he played a multiplayer game in the office, and then decided, because people kept cancelling the research queue all the time, so they could add things to the research queue, that maybe we should have a research queue. And then, after doing that, and finally deciding there was time for a research queue, and enabling the research queue, they had 2 separate code branches, because he didn't want to have everybody have a research queue right from the start of the game, and then finally removed it, because they had too many edge cases that was proving a pain in the ass to deal with. Yeah.
Because I thought I told you the in fact I know I did tell you the blinky thing, when you know how every item lights up yellow.
Yeah.
And something else I've already forgotten.
Yeah. The alerts of blinkies, yeah. Right beside the everything is okay alarm.
The reason why he didn't want to do the research queue.
Why?
Because of the blinky thing. Because that was before the blinky things.
Why is there blinky things?
When you unlock a new technology that has a new recipe.
Oh, the other blinky things, the other little yellow lights in the crafting queue.
Yeah, all of your inventory, all the new items light up yellow.
Yeah, because we didn't have that.
That was so in his list. That was item number 1. Reason why not to have a research queue was that you don't know what the new items are.
Yeah, which they finally fixed.
In which they added the new, your highlight with yellow with the exclamation mark.
Yeah. Which fills up your inventory with yellow marks that we promptly ignore. Yep.
Yeah, I'll fix it in just a minute.
No, he won't. No, he won't. He won't fix it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And the game functionality with the circuit measuring how they measure the white stuff logic in its own thing, I think. Yeah. Yes. The change to wire should be interesting. But it's more that you're now going to be on multiple different surfaces, and therefore, if you need to add a wire or change a combinator or do something like that remotely, this is why they have added these buttons.
Finally made it consistent.
Yeah.
Because you used to just do this with blueprints anyway. I've done it many times.
But you can't disconnect 2 power poles with a blueprint.
Well, not with wire.
Not with power wire.
You can't do the power wire, but you can do all of the circuit things remotely. In an indirect way.
Yep. Yes.
The wire one is possible as long as there's bots available at the remote site.
To remove a wire connection?
Yeah.
Yes.
By removing the power pole?
Yes.
But not by disconnecting a wire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would you want to just arbitrarily... Well, the real question is why would you want to arbitrarily disconnect a wire?
Because
are in range.
Because you were super smart and you decided to build solar and nuclear, and then you tipped the power scales at the home base by too much because the lasers were firing too much, and therefore, for whatever reason, your nuclear fuel is not getting to your reactors properly, so you need to disconnect part of the base so there's enough power to make sure the fuel gets from the nuclear reactor, making fuel section to the actual nuclear reactors to power up the things properly.
Do you know how I say seat and keyboard issue?
Yeah, I don't disagree. But, we were watching Mucky and this shit happens. Right, Silent Storm?
Secondly, it sounds like a Huff problem.
Hey,
Yep,
now.
definitely.
Nah, Huff's learned his mistakes. He's been multiplayer with me too many times. He's seen large parts of the base disappear.
He's been with you so much now he's unlearning.
No, he's seen big parts of the base disappear. He's understand redundancy.
Oh god, I still remember that Santa map. You erased half the base.
Hey,
Like I'm a combinator.
hey, it was not a combinator. It was a command that I had already decided and looked up the landing location beforehand.
No. That's a completely different thing. This was when you were messing with the miners earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? It was the mark for decon and then move the miners forward one time. I put a wrong X or Y in it. Just marked half the map in the opposite direction for decon. It was fine.
Sure.
Or your FFF video. I assume you've noticed the second to last line in the FFF is actually teasing what's potentially next week.
That's the
which is interesting for them.
Well, they're giving us hints as to what's happening.
Yes.
It's been in the last 3 of them.
Remote interactions.
They've given hints as to what's coming in.
Have they?
Yep.
Any comments on it?
Looking forward to feedback. Oh, no, they've changed the last line. The last line's been different for the last couple of Friday Facts. Read your thoughts in the usual places.
Oh, you know, but sorry, second to last, where they actually talk about remote interactions
Yeah.
being a content for next.
Yep. And usual places.
Which makes me
Seeing
wonder
the
if they're
weeks to come
expecting
to-
tons of people to be quizzing the FFF content, and it's almost a, look, we told you last week we're going to,
Yep.
wait a week and see if it answers all your questions.
Yep. Yeah, so see you next time. And then, yeah, they've changed the last line in the last couple, and yes, they have said remote interactions. So yes, we have a hint. Remote interactions. Can I remotely interact with the blighters? Yes, artillery. It's a remote interaction, right? What measure?
It's the first one that I've seen that has a hint.
It's the first one that has a direct hint of what's coming next.
Yeah, direct hint.
I've used that. Whoa. Mean disconnecting power has had its cases. I do disconnect power poles occasionally. I do too. I've used that for power management or remote interactions. Would be nice. Been in mods for so long and people use it, and I personally don't want to play without it anymore. I've also used accumulators and switches. I have more than once run multiple power grids across a base.
I haven't actually done that since nuclear was a thing.
It's less of an issue now. And I've done it for burning wood.
Oh, yes. The thing is, you can do it in other ways too.
As in?
Because of the priority of steam engines. The way the priority of steam engines work is that they'll just always be burning, particularly at night. So if you want to burn wood, you just wait till... If you're on solar, just wait till nighttime and it'll just crank away because they have a higher priority than accumulators.
But steam engines and steam turbines have the same priority. Yes?
Say what?
Steam engines and steam turbines have the same priority.
Yes.
So they will burn, but it'll be slowly.
Yes.
And if I'm deconstructing large amounts of wood, I just want to have, those ones just burn all the time.
I was talking about if you have a solar. Because then wood will burn 100% because accumulators are lower. If you're steam turbines, that's different.
Yes, well, I just have a separate tiny network that is just running a couple of radars in the middle of the base because they're very important. Burning wood. Gina burns wood. Sassy take no. She does. There's only solar T1. Everything else is T2 and T accumulators are T3. Yes. All right.
I didn't think copper ore was
Burnable?
equivalent.
All of them
Yeah.
are doing it.
True, playing vanilla is painful. No, vanilla is perfectly fine as a game. Okay. It's just we're all experienced enough now that we play mods often. And we're gonna have an ad break right about now. So yes. Because of that, yes, it's the case of iceberg. Here, hang on, let me change the scenes. And that way I can click this button. Come on, work harder.
Hello, my
There we go,
friend.
iceberg.
Stay a while and
Thank you for the
listen.
follow. Welcome, mate. Because we're about to have Friday Facts with me and Mojo. Recorded live on stream. We've all played Factorio enough. We've installed enough mods that there are certain quality of life mods that you just expect to play with now. Like I've said multiple times during this playthrough. There's no max rate calculator, and it gets dark at nighttime. I'm not used to this.
Except for long reach and weak 3 people. Those people are just savages.
Yes. Hi, Stinson. I'm just used to them. I'm just used to max rate calculator, and I'm used to the Muppet lighting. I'm not used to the night vision turning on because I just don't wear night vision. Problem solved. Because it's just, I haven't worn it for ages. Don't hate my squeak through. We're going to hate on your squeak through. We're going to hate on the squeak through.
Did I mention here last week that squeak through actually breaks cliffs? I suppose that's not a bad thing.
It doesn't break cliffs.
There's actually a gap in some of the diagonal cliffs that you can actually move through with squeak through.
Oh. It's a feature.
So you probably have to hit it at the right angle and know what path to go through, but sure, okay.
Yeah, if you hit it at the right angle, you can just zip up a cliff.
It's a feature.
Oh, look.
There's no cliffs on this map, is
an
there?
artillery train. Yeah, nothing's gonna go wrong there.
No cliffs. What about artillery train?
Oh, my friend. Stay a while.
Holy
and
shit,
listen.
we have an artillery train?
Artillery train. Yeah.
It's being driven around.
Did that
driven
artillery
around
train
me.
run over another train?
It almost did. I don't think he might have run over one.
I think he's driving around manual.
Yes.
Champion, how you doing? You're probably watching an ad right now. That can't be good. That can't be good. The train is too big to drive around manual.
New.
That junction will
But
survive.
in the place to go.
Where's that other junction you were talking about? Yeah, the one that is coming into.
Oh, this one.
Do a U-turn. Go around that one
Yeah.
a few times.
He can't go south there.
Yeah, go south.
Yeah, you can't.
Go south.
Yeah, okay.
You
Oh,
have
he
to go
can't.
up and around.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I know
up
he
and
can.
around.
Yeah, alright.
You got to go up and around. You can definitely do that.
I mean, yeah, new.
Okay, I need to restart. Factorio just crashed and won't relaunch.
Okay, cool. That seems perfectly fine. It'll go through the intersection. Eventually.
You're not going through the intersection properly, though.
If you
Well,
want to go south, you can go on the left-hand side. It's a straight. You can still go straight through. It's all dual
Do a
track.
U-turn. Or a donut.
Close. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Go choo-choo. Okay. So, Seymour, congratulations on being King of the Hill using the #1 fan figure. Very well done. And Champion. Beautiful. 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 Oh, no, you caught a train.
The Iron Train caught a train too.
Champion. Thank you for clicking the follow button. Welcome.
Yeah, train just doesn't know how to work that out, does it?
It knew how to work it out. It worked it out perfectly fine. It drove, round and round and round and round it went. Till it went no round no more. All right.
Good job, Diddy.
You rotating. I manually told the train where to go. All right. So.
You should let the rail planner decide where the straight.
No. All right. Friday facts time. Where's the mojo?
Idea.
There's the mojo.
See, train trimmers are very important. And that way, you have a train trimmer on your intersection. That way, it doesn't allow trains that are too long to go through. Trims them down to the correct size. Mojo's bad. Okay. All right. Not a fan of the train trimmer?
No, because we build long artillery trains.
One day I will actually build a T intersection that's an auto trimming intersection.
Can you do? You can't do that with a T intersection, can you?
Yeah.
You have to fit in a whole roundabout to get the train to trim itself.
Oh no, there's ways to do it.
Unless you work out a way to have other trains trim trains.
No, you got to make it self-trim. You got to make the train trim itself.
Okay. You can't just leave it open for other trains to trim it eventually. Yeah.
Well, to make others do it, you need to force them through red signals.
Isn't that just hooking a wire between two signals and saying when this one says red, this one is automatically changed to green, even if it was red a second ago?
If you spam it and like once per tick, it should do it.
I just thought if one said was red, the other one... If one signal changed to red, just have the other one read that signal and change to green. That's all you need to do. Because it should be, as the trains are approaching, it should be yellow because it's approaching, then go red when the train's getting there, which means the one in front would be yellow, but then you force a green, and the train drives through. You can't set it to?
You can't set it to green.
Can't you?
You can force it to red.
I'm sure you can force the signal to green.
Unless something's changed recently.
I'm sure you can force the signal to green. Inserter. Why? Red signal.
Yeah, you can only close it. As in, make it go red. You can send a signal to tell it to go red, but you can't send a signal to make it go green.
So transmitting signal red.
You can't override the red.
The train cannot stop the time. Signals yellow already passing through. Signals red. Train will not stop that train. No train very often stop the signal and try not to file to path even if one is valid. Risk cover signal and sends the circuit network below. Okay, is it a chain signal you can force a color change on?
Nope, it'll have the same. Well, we never even used to be able to set those.
Read signal.
You can only read them. But recently, yeah, it's still the same.
Okay.
Why did you change the blue to a combat shotgun?
I don't know, why not?
Sure.
Okay. I thought you could force the signal to change.
Yeah, change it. You can force the signal to go red, but you can't force it to go green.
Thought you could. Good. What are you doing? I'm doing the Friday facts. Okay? You done? Bad chat. All right. I hope no one can kill JD with trains. What does that do you? Yep. Battle Fluffy map talk to you about train signals? Huh? Ensuring the trains are correct size by force is important. We need, I forget his name, but in the Battle Fluffy map talk to you about train signals. I don't know. All right. You good, Mojo?
Probably.
Such confidence. Okay, 5 hours, 20 minutes. All right. G'day, mate, and welcome to Friday Facts 379 with Abstract Rewiring, and I have Mr. Abstract Mojo with me. How you doing, mate?
Hello. I'm feeling very abstract today.
Excellent. You'll fit in perfectly with the Friday Facts because, my mate, let me show you around. Here is our lab table and our work stool, and over here is our interplanetary space platform, and here's where we keep our assorted lengths of wire. Yes, with a real life space platform. Yep, we designed it ourselves. Let us show you the different lengths of wire we use. Yeah, I have a chest of wire. Do you have a chest of wiring cables?
Have that at work.
You have that at work? Okay, mine's full of USBs and HDMIs and DVIs, and turns out I had some old D-subs in there as well. And
oh, yeah, I got a box of that as well. The deeper you go, the older the plug looks.
I've had a whole container full of not 80 pin IDEs, but 40 pins. Yep, and 36s for floppy disks.
Oh, I can find even worse than that. Somewhere I have a VGA to BNC cable.
I threw that out.
Right at the bottom.
I threw that out a couple of weeks ago.
Non-multi-syncing VGA monitors.
Oh, I threw that out a few weeks ago. All right. Yes. Yes. Okay, so this Friday Facts is all about electric poles and wires and improvements. So this will be more of a technical journey, a peek behind the scenes of what we have to consider when adding new features. I'll be wired with one of the features I had to refactor in order to allow more features. Manual ghost wires. So, copper wires can be seen in Factorio versions as old as version 0.2.10 from 2013, and they actually survived up to the 1.0 from 2020. Copper connections between electric poles were just a targeter pointing another electric pole saying, I'm connected to this electric pole. Poles are connected to one another. Be more precise, each electricity pole had exactly 5 of those targeters, as the static vector is more optimal than a dynamic one. Sure.
It's a bit of a word salad, but yeah, it's a more optimal data storage.
Sure.
Storage.
Electric poles in Factorio
Say.
1.0, copper wires between electric poles were not possible between electric pole ghosts. So that's in prior to 1.0, which we'll come back to. When an electric pole would be destroyed, all copper wires, all other electric poles had to be disconnected because we can't pretend that an entity is hidden in the entity's ghost shell is still connected to the network. That is a really bad play on words. Real pole can't have a direct normal connection to one inside a ghost, as the logic related to the connection would get confused. Yes. But our wire connections in blueprints, both normal and circuit, were to have a special one-sided connection from the ghost to real entity. So this means if you put down a ghost, it would connect to a real power pole, which is how it is in base game 1.1 right now. Yes. Plus, they added a new feature to have a ghost connect to a ghost with a wire, which came in Friday Facts 362, which we need to talk about probably really quickly, because they added a bunch of things. This was between version 1 and version 1.1, where they added most of the functionality for Spidertrons. They added ghost belts and being able to rotate ghosts, and also have the bots flip belts quickly and fast replace undergrounds and splitters and all sorts of stuff on belts. A lot of quality of life stuff came in 1.1.
All the things that made ghosting belts 10 million times easier.
Yes. But one of the big ones was the power poles. So previously in power poles, when you throw down ghost power poles, they just sit there out in the oblivion. And eventually, when they're built, that's when they do their check for a local power pole and then do a connection. But with the 1.1 update, it means when you put down ghost power poles, you get ghost wires, which was helpful because you could actually make sure that things plugged in as you expected them to. But one of the other things that changed is now you could put down real power poles or ghost power poles and make sure that when you made a blueprint, it saved the wire connections, which means you could make blueprints with pretty nice symmetrical square wire connections and then save that blueprint. And when you put it down next time, it had the exact same wire structure. Rather than each time you put it down, you'd end up with a different way that the wires went, what? Why? Why did you do that? Why did you draw an X in the middle of my nice clean power pole connections?
You'd always get that one X every time.
Or the one that's just slightly off center. Just that one power pole that decided, it was not going to go directly to its neighbor. It was going to go north or south by just one. Just had it have a standard little dead end connection all by itself. Also we got build dragging, which was another one. So you could just run around with undergrounds, pipes, and belts, and they just went down magically. Yes. Oh, and also they upgraded. That was the one where you're talking about, Mojo, with the dragging power poles.
Yes, that was the one we're talking about in the pre notes.
Yeah, the pre-Friday Facts. Yeah.
Pre-facts.
Yeah. Previously, they wouldn't connect between two power networks, and now they do. So,
no, that one was slightly different. So the one I was talking about was you click and drag over ghosted ones, and instead of drawing new poles, it pastes them onto the blueprint.
Yeah, previously it would sometimes hit on the blueprint, and sometimes it wouldn't, and sometimes it would do special things.
Yeah.
Now it was pretty much spot on.
Or both at the same time.
Yeah. So Win 1.1, they fixed all that sort of stuff. And it looked like a really nice solution in the beginning because we glued a new possibility to the ghost without disturbing the basic electric pole functionality. In other words, electric poles didn't have to know anything about ghosts and its related logic. But in reality, the solution started to smell as the special cases were starting to pile up. When an electric pole is destroyed, you need to check it if ghost is not pointed to it and update its connections to containing a new ghost instead. Yeah, cool. That makes sense. Yeah.
A little bit Chingrish.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's dense, but yeah.
Yeah. So when you kill a power pole, you need to see if a ghost is connecting to it. And if a ghost is connected to it, maybe that ghost needs to connect to somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
When an electric pole is revived, i.e. rebuilt, you need to update its corresponding neighboring ghosts. Cool. When a blueprint is being made, the wires for blueprint need to be collected from entities and from ghosts, because you can have a blueprint that's half made and half ghosted, and therefore you want to make a blueprint as you have neat power poles and neat connections. In theory, not you just slapped it down, you don't really care. And any logic, we need to check if the two things are connected, regardless of a ghost or real connection. We need to check all the possible ways the connection could exist. This applies to wire dragging, automatic connections, power pole removal, reconnections, and such. And this is just the start because we are just considering electric poles. We also have power switches. The switch to pole connection was also done in a custom way that didn't have the 5 connection limit. No, it had 1 connection limit, which was actually really annoying in some rare cases where you want to go
the power pole.
Into a switch. Switch was always limited to 1.
Yeah, the switch is limited to 1, but the power pole connected to the switch is unlimited.
Oh,
specifically.
Yes.
So you could spam 10 million. You could completely surround the pole in.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember seeing a screenshot of somebody who had like 100 and something power switches all plugged into one single large electric pole. Yeah. Because
because that's a thing.
It was a thing, yes. It's still technically a thing. So if you're bored, you want to make yourself an interesting picture, take a big power pole, craft up 50 power switches, because you probably don't have them automated, and run some wire by hand. Yeah, CMOS places where the connections are stored and in combination in which they can act was just a programming nightmare. Main reason there were always some special corner cases where wires work differently. Or there's always an edge case.
There's always the edge cases.
Yeah. Similar limitations also applied to the circuit wires. Circuit connectors were able to store connections to other real circuit connectors, so when a ghost was created, it would be a single direction connection only. This means that special logic relating to circuit wires and its handling was also bloated by all of this. Cool. The breaking point. At this point, I was asked by Covrex to make it possible to add wires to ghost poles manually. After a day of not being able to reliably tell which of the functions called, just to add a ghost wire, I decided the amount of technical debt was just too much. A refactoring was imminent. I just had to throw everything out the window and propose a completely new design that would solve all the issues reliably in one go. The realization. It started to be obvious that the original rule of never point to dead entities inside ghosts by anything was not worth the complications. Once we started to discover the possible simplifications we could do by breaking this old rule, it became more and more obvious that is the way to go. As it turned out, the one thing they're afraid of all along, which was not hooking ghosts to other ghosts and other things, the auto electric network pole connection logic to not get confused when ghosts involved in the normal connection system was basically a few ifs. In other words, if we built a whole infrastructure to shield the logic from the change, while the infrastructure was so overwhelmingly more complicated than just changing the original logic. We thought it was a good programming design, but it led us down the wrong path. So, it now means that everything should work the same in version 1.2, 2.0 expansion DLC. Yeah. Although we've gone way past the 5 connection rule for that power pole.
Yeah. You notice that also there's a power switch with 3 wires coming out of it.
Yeah, you can go power pole, power switch. Well, you can go power switch to multiple things, also power switch to power switch. That's the part that I like.
I like also the ghosted switch, which is wired into itself.
Yeah, you can do that currently, can't you?
I never actually thought. Yeah, you can.
You can.
It's now not possible, sadly, though.
What do you mean?
The top one's got it too.
What do you mean it's not possible?
That's what the caption says. Because the edge case. So this picture is a demonstration of all of the rules, all the edge cases that break the connection.
With all these changes that set up like this is no longer deemed impossible. So this is now possible.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, possible, not impossible.
Yeah. Because you can't currently hook a switch to a switch, which is annoying if you want to, like, really, really oddball cases where, like, you know, you have we had one with a mod we were playing, Exotic Industries, where we had a power grid, like a nuclear reactor, that needed a certain amount of seed power to keep it running. And in theory, you just add a certain amount of solar, so in theory it runs, because, you know, solar's good and everything. But that didn't always work. So, yeah, biters would eat the solar and things. It was a bad combination. And the answer was, well, we just need 2 switches. One to say, hey, if there's enough power inside the network, then you just run yourself. And if there's lots and lots of power inside your own network, then you can connect to the main base. And the only way to do it was with 3 separate power networks, rather than just having 2 switches with 2 conditions. It was a little annoying. So
Very specific, but sure.
Look, it's one of those things. As soon as you have a well-developed game like Factorio with a bunch of mods and all sorts of stuff, you're going to run into these odd specific scenarios. I wouldn't call them an edge case anymore. They're a specific scenario where, well, even a standard Factorio nuclear reactor, in theory, you need enough power inside the nuclear reactor network to make sure the inserters can swing to put the nuclear fuel into the reactor. It's sort of a much lower use case because there are a couple of inserters. They don't need a lot of power, but technically they need some sort of power. Yeah. So the other improved a small couple of other things. We also
important stuff.
Yeah. Well, I disagree. So when dragging an electric pole with circuit wires, it will drag those as well. Which
I wouldn't want that.
Well, I don't use wires that often.
See, wires are everything for me, so I'm very interested in that.
But I don't use them very often. But up until now, you would never, unless you had to, drag a power cable with circuit wires on it. You'd blueprint it and copy and paste it, even if you didn't have robots, because, well, the red and the green wires would go in for free.
Yeah, instead of having to pay for them.
Yeah.
Not that they're expensive, it's just annoying having them in your inventory.
Let's be honest, it's really just annoying having them in your inventory. It's 2 inventory slots. It's not a lot of inventory space, but it's 2 of the never have enough inventory space slots that you use with stupid wire that's going to eventually run out when you probably want to use it. Yeah. Or you're going to end up with that situation where I have too much wire and I decide to dump half it into Logi Network, knowing that the boss will never use it, and then find out that I'm out and about and I need more damn wire. And it's at home in the Logi Network. Yep. Also, the circuit rewiring logic can simply be done the same way it's done for normal rewiring, which does mean that if we remove poles with circuit network wires on them, they just auto-reconnect.
Yeah, auto-reconnect to the neighbours. Now, the hope is that the boss kid has actually thought this through and it won't connect to foreign circuit networks. As in, if there's a neighbouring green circuit network, it won't connect to that different circuit network. It'll connect back to itself, its same circuit network.
If you have, let's go with the simplest explanation. If you have 2 powered networks, right, with, you know, power wires and circuit networks crossing each other in a perfect T intersection, but not touching, and then you, remove a pole that should make sure that they connect to a different pole, we're going to hope the wires don't get crossed.
Yes.
Also, at the same time, I'm going to add...
Circuit network A doesn't connect to circuit network B.
Yeah.
Or green wire A doesn't connect to green network B.
Yeah. I'm also going to add, I really hope that they don't skip a tick in the rewiring of the network. So it's like add new connection to move the green wire and the red wire from pole 1 to pole 3, then remove pole 2. Because...
In theory, it should all happen in one tick.
Either duplicate it first and then remove it, or make sure it happens at the same tick, because there are so many things that people build that if it misses a tick, it could be fine. It would be fine 99.9% of the times, but there'd be that edge case where something bad would happen. Always something bad would happen, because circuit networks are a pain in the butt. It's just, yeah. I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
They're fine.
So, finally, after 2 weeks of refactoring, this is a quick fix, obviously. I sat down and finished the original task of laying out powers to manually connect electric poles, even in the ghost form. So that means I can put down a ghost power pole and add ghost wires, then put down a ghost inserter and connect up ghost wires to my ghost inserter from my ghost power pole. It just took a few minutes.
From your ghost body and your ghost map view.
Yes, we haven't got to the map view part. So, where are my wires?
That's coming in the future FFF.
No, it's coming right now. Speaking of wires, we noticed a few oddities with how the game was drawing them. Once I saw these problems, I couldn't unsee them. Wires connected between two short entities over a long distance, such as the chest, were sagging way lower than they realistically should be. Yeah, that's a feature. It's a feature.
Because of the perspective, it's always kind of hard to tell. But yeah, with the inserter, once you notice it, yeah, you can see that it's sort of dangling. It's sort of
it's not dangling. It's
dangling up to get dangled down.
It's stretching. Okay, it's stretching far and wide. Yeah. And what's with these shadows? Why are they sagging southward? All the other shadows are stretching to the east. Look, wires believe in a different sun. They believe in different suns and different gods. It's fine. That's not how physics works. That's entirely how physics works. I've played games with Unreal. Like, Satisfactory's got multiple suns. Obviously, that explains the shadows thing. Combine these two made wires feel out of place. While the game is 2D, we do have some hint about relative heights of the wire connections, which is the relationship between the connection point and the shadow connection point. Using these two offsets and the lower definition, we can estimate the maximum wire sag that should be present. So to better communicate a wire's position, circuit networks strung between two short entities should only sag until they touch the ground.
So this led to my thought, if the wire is being perceived as touching the ground, does that mean there's a mod potential for player character tripping over wires?
Oh, that definitely sounds like a mod. That definitely
sounds like a Muppet thing that can make you have pain.
Yeah.
I hope Muppet's paying attention.
Yeah. Forget the fact that you can't climb over a pipe that is only as high as your knees. It's really a giant pipe in front of you, and it's like 1.5 meters tall, and that's why you can't walk over it. But yeah, definitely. You weren't paying attention when you walked across the inserter line and tripped over some red wires. Yeah. It just needs a 10% chance of, tripping and slowing you down. That's it. Just like a slowdown capsule on your head or something. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's an improvement. I think that's going to make wires a little bit easier to read, at least. I think that's the biggest change, because now they're more direct, and the shadows sort of helps you relatively tell where A and B is when they plug from one another. But they also did the same with power poles, which is just to change the shadows, really.
Yeah, so it's not casting shadows in weird angles now. It's more correct.
It's more technically correct. It's technically correct.
Kind of correct.
But it feels wrong because I'm used to it being the other way for such a long time. It looks wrong. Especially the one that's going corner to corner. It feels like it's... Yeah, okay, whatever. All right. So long distance connections between combinations should be more readable at a glance. Long distance connections between combinations. Oh, yes. So...
It's probably not the best picture to show it, but it does make reading combinator wire connections. It should make reading combinator connections a lot easier, having the wire a little bit more taut. The dangle means that they sort of mix with each other and you just lose track of it.
It should be that you should be able to see the wire and see the shadow and go, okay, so where it touches the shadow is the halfway point, and then I need to look at, directly opposite to that. Whereas before the shadow was all over the place. Yeah. It should make things easier. I think it will. Yeah. We'll see. And then once the improvements, how to go back without noticing flaws. And then we have multiple inserters hooked into a single power pole. Which it makes me feel like a circus tent. Yep. I need some other inserters put down with some green wire, please. And we'll have some white wire and we'll get a circus tent going in no time.
Yeah, circus tent.
Yep. So, pop quiz, can you see the shadow problem I want to fix next? No, I can't. Oh.
I have a theory that it's because it's drawing it over the top of stuff, even though it technically should be underneath.
Yeah,
or it's related. The only other thing that doesn't change is the connection itself, so it could relate to that.
Well, the shadows are being drawn over the power pole and over the inserter.
Yeah. It's
And-
being drawn over the front of it, even
Yeah.
though it's weird. Even though technically it can't go over the front of it.
Yeah. On top of that, I don't know, like maybe the shadow being twice as dark because it's a shadow drawn on top of a shadow, where they will line up at the power pole connection at the top. Because that's technically wrong too. You can't have a shadow on a shadow. Life don't work like that, you know, unless we go back to Satisfactory and the multiple suns thing, at which point, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah. But I think I don't know, there's a part of Factorio. Factorio's long history that I think we just all got used to. So, tiny inconsistencies in videos, games, graphics, UA, design, controls can taint the experience, even if most players can't articulate exactly why. This part I agree with. Most players will never notice the changes made to the wires, yet all of them will see the wires and eventually and unconsciously enjoy the benefits. Taking a moment from time to time to improve even the smallest of details can go a long way towards making a good game feel great. Yes, and we can close some historic bug reports on the topic. I didn't look, but I am willing to bet they're very old. Yeah, these small little
I didn't look at those either.
These small little fixes go a long way sometimes. And I think they're the sort of things that people pick up when they start playing early access games when they first come out. And like, you know, it just doesn't feel right. There's something wrong. It needs a bit more time to, you know, mature. And it's all those little quality of life things that get slid in that you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I now that it's in a patch note, that I read a patch note and I noticed this, it's like, yeah, that is much better. You know, I remember, were you playing Tectonica Muppet? Muppet Mojo. Yep.
I haven't played that yet.
Okay, so Tectonica has lights everywhere. And do you remember classic 1990s fluoros? And that buzz sound they make?
Yeah.
All their lights have that buzz sound in it. All of them. You only notice it when you're up close. Yes. So you don't notice it straight away. And they've accurately, 100% best recreation of that annoying sound ever in the world.
But it was always those really older, you know, from the 70s fixtures that did that too. Because they're all half burnt out.
It was all the ones with older ballasts in them. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the magnetic ballasts.
Yeah. So it was really, really annoying, but it was something you would only notice if you were very close to these power poles, and as you had them mostly everywhere, you're always somewhat in range of one of them, and people complained about headaches and all sorts of things. And yeah, it turns out it was that sound. I only noticed because I happened to stand right beside one. I'm like, I recognize that sound and where from, and yeah, boom, yep. So also had a sound bug to go with it that made it extra pronounced for some people, but not everybody. Okay. So, cloning, abstract items. Most items in Factorio are nice and normal, and you use them as ingredients. You build machines and walls, and some of them you even eat to recover health. Yes, we're going to eat the cats. I'm sorry, I mean fish, yes. But over time, some of the new features are introduced.
Put fish in the box.
Get fish in the box. Yeah, and biters in the box. And then they two play together. Yep. Some new features introduced had some unique and specific actions, and items the only natural way for the player to discover to use them. Some examples being blueprints and deconstruction planners, red and green wires, discharge defense remote, artillery remote, and Spidertron remote. These were real items you needed to craft to use. They took up inventory space, and you lost them all when you died. You might be a little surprised to learn the blueprints were first added. You have to craft them with an advanced circuit, and to erase them, they cost an electric circuit.
And you also had to research them with red and green tech.
Was it? Oh yeah, because we only had 4 tech levels then.
Yes. I mean, you still had the blue, but it was a red and green.
Yeah, I was thinking like it was way lower in the tech tree than that. Oh no, there were only 4 levels. Yep. Okay. Yeah. It was red and green tech. Yeah, just late in the red green tech tree, like after oil.
I mean, robots unlock in red green, or at least they used to.
Yeah, a long time ago. Over time, we come to decide that having everything as real items is not always the best gameplay-wise. And with the introduction of the Blueprint Library, blueprints were the first abstract item. Means you can just spawn one when you need it, and you can store them in a library so they don't take up precious inventory space. You can still put them on your quick bar to conveniently access, yes. Also, you can put them in a box, at which point they become a physical item. Prior to that, you can take them from your library and put them on your hotbar, and it's just aiming at the one in the library, not the one that is not in your inventory, because it's not one in your inventory. But then you can put a different one in your inventory and change it, and put it on your hotbar as well and have two different ones, one linked to library and one linked to the hotbar that's linked to the inventory, just to confuse things, because it's now a physical and an abstract item all at the same time. Yeah. Weird tricks and remote interactions. Blueprints was a major one, but it left the rest of these types of items in a strange place. Strangest and most annoying was the red and green wires. It took a good, hard, well-earned copper and iron to craft them, but if you unwire something, you got nothing back. Additionally, if you use the blueprint, the red and green wires were included for free. And the aspect of remote interaction also became strange. You cannot red wire something from the map. You could take a blueprint of it, wire it locally, and place the blueprint back over the top, and the wires would magically change. No, they magically appear. It was even better. Yep.
I've done that many times.
Yeah. You've got a roboport. You need to read the details out of it and put it into a power pole to hook it into a circuit network, and that's on the other side of the base. Just copy the thing, put it right beside you, wire it up, copy, paste it back, and oh look, wires just magically appear.
You can also do it to update combinators.
Yes. In fact, you could wire in a hole. Anything you wanted, just blueprint on top, and the wires didn't even have to be magically delivered as non-existent items by the bots. They just appeared via magic.
Yep.
It was the true power of order magic. Yes, in the end, we took the path that made a lot of sense. It was turn all these abstract items you could spawn, which you could spawn for free, and the abstract items work from any distance. This also applies to copper cable. There is the real copper cable used for recipes, and the abstract ones connect electric poles. The new abstract items naturally tie into the shortcut bar system, which is being used to its full potential. Yeah, that's a lot bigger shortcut bar.
Yeah, that's a significant shortcut bar. The one thing I wasn't expecting to see was the copper wire one for linking. As soon as I started talking about the stuff at the top, I was like, oh, they're going to make the red-green wire free now, aren't they? And sure enough, they are.
Yep.
But and then the artillery remote, and then as soon as they start introducing it, it's like, oh yeah, artillery remote and the Spidertron remote. You'd think about those straight away too.
Well,
but not the copper wire.
It's not only that. So copper wire, which you can use to physically wire two power poles together to force a connection. Also, you can use it to indicate that you want to remove a connection between two power poles, which is something that previously you couldn't do remotely, even via robots. The only option was to remove the power pole and then rewire around it so the two power poles didn't interface with one another. Yep. And then have the robots physically do the work, which is not something that would happen too often, but I guess it did happen sometimes. Red and green wire, remote wiring, yes, we just covered that. Artillery remote, yes, because let's face it, you only ever craft one of them, maybe as a spare, two.
And they're kind of annoying to craft because it's, what is it? I can't even remember the rest of it. It's a blue circuit and then a control unit, I think.
Rocket control unit, yes. So they're not something you have on you at spawn. So if you die, there's not something.
It's not part of your normal kit.
Yeah.
That you can craft. Like if you keep some circuits and things on you, you can't easily craft it.
You can't craft a blue circuit outright. And you can probably have the materials on you, maybe to craft a rocket control unit, possibly.
The downside there is it's a minute to craft it.
Yeah, it's slow. The remote discharge defense. You'd end up crafting one of them and just put it on your hotbar, and literally, I'm only using it when I'm fighting biters. That's the only time. The rest of the time, it's useless. As the Spidertron remotes, that's an interesting one, because I've seen lots of people have multiple Spidertron teams. You could have Spidertrons for combat, you have Spidertrons for building, you have Spidertrons for deconstruction, you have Spidertrons for, building solar fields. So lots of people have multiple different remotes.
You usually have 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah, with multiple different colors, and that's just tied to 5 different spiders, which might have 10 or 12 spiders following that leader spider to have a group.
Oh, the follower the leader, having to constantly reprogram them.
Yeah.
So lock onto one, switch over to the next one, clear it, lock onto the next one, and then not accidentally break it all in the process.
Yeah. So we get a bigger and better shortcut bar, and it's going to increase our ability to do things remotely. And the good news is remote interactions will be the focus of next Friday Facts. So Mojo's off the hook; he doesn't have to guess what comes in next Friday Facts because he's been wrong every time so far. But as for Spidertron remotes, just want to add this in because Mojo.
Arguably, I was semi-right with the train bridges one.
Sure.
There's something completely left field that you wouldn't expect.
Sure.
Nobody expected bridges.
No, I expected bridges. Bridges were on my list of 1.2 DLC expansion 2.0 updates, possibly. Whether it was going to happen, don't know, but I expected they'd be doing something to majorly overhaul a lot of complaints about the trains, because we've been like 2-3 years in development. It's been a while. They've had a lot of time to change and improve things. And they have a more developed team, so I'm actually expecting a lot out of the new DLC update. But Spidertron remotes. I just want to add very, very quickly, because Mojo hit the nail on the head with the programming the follow a leader thing and not breaking the combination. I want to be able to select a group of spiders, these 12 spiders, color them all purple, and say that is a group with one remote, with a group. Just, if the leader dies, there is no leader, it's fine. Just one of them dies, it's all right. There's no longer 10 in the group, it's now 9 in the group. Yes.
Just automatically reorder themselves.
Yes. Like, I just if we're gonna have this increased functionality and having a hotbar that's actually 12 slots wide, that's it's gonna be an improvement. I'll give it that much. I don't know how many people actually run full length hotbars unless you're running heavily modded. Like previously we had, I think it maxed out at 4 wide. So to get 12, you'd end up with 4x3, which is not too bad, I guess. But yes, I'm
for the savages that like for hotbars that take up half the screen.
My hotbar takes up half the screen. My toolbar takes up half the screen. But now it'll take up a quarter of the screen with the hotbar and the toolbar at the same time, at least. But yeah, I'd like to see the remote have more functionality added with groups of spiders. Also, being that you still need to save the remotes with different each control group, I'm hoping these will also become physical items. You know, copper wire might be the exception, but like Blueprint books, you can physically put them in a box should you need to put them in a box. You know, in case you have a group of spiders that you want to physically put their remote in a box for, oops, I died, this is the spider I'm going to call to my call to my spawn to take me back to my corpse, collect my corpse.
Hopefully that's still possible.
Hopefully. But I think that is the end of this Friday Facts. It's a bit of a shorter Friday Facts, much more technical Friday Facts, interesting Friday Facts about shadows and
It's one of those more
wires.
technical ones that doesn't necessarily, you know, it's not expanding greatly, but it is a lot of like little things like you're talking about with the code for the circuit wires goes back to over 10 years.
Oh yeah. This stuff's hung around for ages, and they've improved on it. But yes, they made that critical mistake of, okay, we don't want to break people's old blueprints, so we're not going to change the logic around wires too much, which meant that they went down one avenue where they didn't break any logic, but because they didn't break the logic and handle that broken logic with a couple of if statements, they went down a nightmare rabbit hole of we'll have to work around everything. Rather than just say, oh, if it's part of this old system, you know, we're going to do it this way. Which they now have to do with train tracks, because they're going to have to handle version 1.1 train tracks and version 1.2 train tracks with the slightly different curves for some amount of period. Yep.
Well, that's just second set of graphics. That's not too difficult.
Oh, and with edge cases, it's always going to be more than that. But with all that said and done, this is where we're going to leave the Friday Facts. As always, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a blast, and we'll see you guys next week for more Friday Facts. That's it. We're up. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And Friday Facts done.
Excellent.
What'd I say? 20? 5:20? So that's 35 minutes. There you go.
Yep.
Mojo's not as much of a gas bag, big-winded, wasting your time of person as I thought, right?
Nope. You're the windbag.
Not this week, right?
The stream.
Okay.
Oh.
I've been kicked for being AFK. Cool. Welcome back. Cool. What'd I miss?
Also, I do believe I saw on Reddit that you can't use red and green wire as a physical item now, so it won't go in your inventory anymore. So I don't know.
Probably okay.
Remote.
Oh, cool.
gotta mute the stream.
You gotta mute your stream? Which way's home? To the left, I imagine. Oh, Factorio's muted. Nope.
Just saying hello to the natives, eh?
Oh, yeah, it turns out I really logged back on the server and I was beside a biter base with lasers waiting to be blueprinted down. No power out here, just lasers. My lasers. Yep. Okay. They knew about the exploits. Chunky Shokaba. Which exploits? Oh, which exploits?
The blueprinting one.
Wires, yes. It's not really an exploit. It was a feature. 100% a feature.
Yeah,
Holy
that one
fuck,
for a long
I'm
time.
miles away.
How'd you get so far out?
Multiplayer. That's how I got so far out. Multiplayer. Oh. I wonder if they fixed the Friday facts. The plants can exist on top of my car. I want RTS style selection for Spidertron remotes. Jerry is the master of breaking Spidertron remotes. I generally don't have Spidertron, so I don't generally break them. Problem solved. Who up? Hey, Dingo Sniper. Dingo Cyber Sniper. Yes. And who said it? Somebody said. I called Mojo a Muppet 2 weeks in a row. I did Rebel. Yep. It's because it's late and I've been dealing with Muppet for several hours. Okay? The lesson is I need to do C-Bus on a Friday, and that way I don't have to deal with Muppet until tomorrow when we do this map. And then I'll call Mojo a Muppet a Mojo. Right?
Yes.
Problem solved.
Sounds about right.
Yep. How far, for fuck's sake? Do I have better rocket fuel? Here, car, have rocket fuel. Go, car.
Go, gadget car.
Yeah, go. I wish I brought a tank. Oh, there's power pole. Okay. Alright, back in the base. Finally. Because someone decided to... I have no idea how much belt that used. Deal with Muppet. Yeah, deal with Muppet. Yeah. Muppet, have you not seen some of the train track wonders you make? You say it's perfectly fine. It's anything but fine. We all know it's anything but perfectly fine. Alright. Cool. Copper train is parked here and broken, and that's a new artillery train. Okay. Alright, what am I trying to do? So. Are we launching rockets? Slowly. Alright, RCUs is still the problem, which is still red circuits, which is still green circuits. Huh? Which has a giant break in the middle. Because of Muppet! It's always a Muppet problem. It's always Muppet's fault. It clearly says Muppet.
Except when it's JD's fault.
Nah, because I'm generally standing beside my mistakes. Something I had to pester Mojo about. What do I have to pester you about, mate?
Stuff and junk.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. can't remember if it was a game coming out or something.